Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force Complaint Committee meeting for March 9th, 2010. I'm the chair, Nick Goldman. Chris, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Member Goldman?
Here.
Goldman present. Member Johnson?
Here.
Johnson present. Member Caneba?
Here.
Caneba present. Mr. Chair, there's a quorum.
Thank you very much. Any agenda changes?
There are no agenda changes, Mr. Chair.
Members? No. Would you call item 1, please?
Item number 1 is the approval of minutes of December 8, 2009.
I would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve minutes.
Second.
Is there any public comment on the minutes for the Tuesday, December 8th meeting? Seeing none, Chris, would you call the roll, please?
On the motion, Member Caneba?
Aye.
Caneba, aye. Member Johnson?
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Member Goldman?
Aye.
Goldman, aye. Mr. Chair, we have 3 ayes.
Thank you. Would you call item 2, please?
Item number 2 is the determination of jurisdiction on complaint filed by Emma Lawrence against the Municipal Transportation Agency for allegedly canceling meetings improperly.
Okay. Is Mr. Lawrence here? Yes, I am. Will you please approach and state your case as to why you feel that we have jurisdiction over your item, please?
I filed a petition also last year, which was combined with another dispute, and I singled this out once again for 2010. The reason why I have filed a complaint with the Sunshine Ordinance Board is due to the fact that since 2005, I've been a regular public speaker at the San Francisco Taxi Commission, and when they were absorbed in 2009 by the MTA, I became a public speaker there. In the course of that time, I found out that many people would show up on canceled meetings only to find out there was no meeting, there was no posted meeting, there was no meeting that you could find that was canceled on the website because the website was so irregular that it changed from time to time where the canceled meetings were, or they were put canceled on a day they were canceled. And 3 is that when they started becoming combined with the MTA, the chaos started to grow with more and more canceled meetings relative to less and less postings. The size of the MTA relative to the meetings, and to take this as an example, is that they used to have them every other week on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Those were canceled sometimes, it'd be postponed. 2 is that the size of the agency has grown threefold since 2003, yet the number of meetings have declined by 3 to 4 meetings a year. If you go back to the cancellations on the size of the MTA in 2003, you will see that there were 2 to 3 cancellations a year with a budget of about $240 million. Today, the MTA's budget now has absorbed the Department of Parking and Traffic, the San Francisco Taxi Commission, and they have 7 to 8 cancellations a year, change of schedules nonstop. 2, based on the size of the MTA, and I can make this relative to the San Francisco Police Commission that has a meeting every week, a commission hearing every week. There are so many items on the MTA agenda for them not to have regular meetings on a weekly basis leads to chaos within the public at large. They don't know when to show up. They don't know when to protest. 2, or listen to the hearing or the commissioners at the hearing based on they don't know the times, based on they can't find it on the website, based on there's about 350,000 or more passengers that ride Muni in the city and county of San Francisco. I have never seen one sign posted on any bus, at any bus stop, on any billboard that the Muni has or the MTA has a website, let alone meetings on a regular basis. It is my belief that the chaos promoted within the mixed schedule of Muni is to kind of camouflage the meetings from the public at large, so public will not get full access to what is going on, and they can conduct business as usual away from the public at large. And that is what I have found almost nonstop for the past 12 months. Issues are not discussed in front of the public, only to find out a bill comes up and it's already passed unanimously based on a closed session hearing or based on some other documents that were provided not in the public's eye. Two is that, related to the change of schedules that should be on a regular basis, is that they no longer supply documents related to their schedule on any upcoming event. It just ended almost in September, July to September of last year, to provide any documents on any upcoming event that you're going to have. And take an example is that over the last 2 weeks or so, they've been having meetings on a Thursday at 5 or at 2 o'clock. These aren't their regular schedules. At Friday, they're having now, I think was posted in this paper, they're having a meeting now on Monday, South Van Ness. Who knows about it? Almost no one except for the union, number one, the SEIU and the actual AFL-CIO affiliate, and no one else. The public doesn't know about it. I haven't seen one billboard, one flyer anywhere. I take the bus almost unanimously 7 days a week, the 19, the 43, the 47. The bus drivers don't even know about when the actual meetings are taking place. And by not having scheduled regular meetings for an MTA and the size they are, approaching $1 billion, we never know what the hell's going on, to be blunt. I don't. I'm a taxi driver. I have to take off from work. I have to leave a shift to come in only to find out that the actual meeting doesn't take place, only to find out the meeting's taking place at a different time, different day, only to find out it's in a regular time, a different day, and we don't know if they're getting back on the regular schedule or not.
Okay, thank you.
And that's the basics of my argument or my complaint.
Okay, thank you. Is the respondent agency here? No. The respondent agency is not here. We have a note from one Roberta Boomer. I'm out of the office and will return Monday, March 15th, 2010. So apparently that means that they're not coming to this hearing. Members, questions for the complainant?
I have no questions, but based on the not on the substance, but on the accusations, I would move that we find at the appropriate time and find jurisdiction in this matter.
Questions? Sir, when you say that meetings were canceled improperly, which meetings are you referring to? Do you have specific meetings?
Let me be specific. If you go back to the last 3, 4, 5 cancellations, here's what has taken place. The meeting was canceled on the day of the meeting with no cancellation notice posted at room 400. Nothing noticed or anything posted at the front of City Hall when you come into that little guideline, and only to find out when you saw it in the afternoon the meeting was canceled. This was a particular play I talked to Roberta Boomer about, and she, in a way, kind of straightened it out in terms of the postings. But I told her, you have to post this 2 weeks in advance or 10 days in advance and give good notice to everybody at large because they would show up. And after a while, people wouldn't show up because there'd be no meeting.
That answered my question. Thank you.
And that was
answers
Thank
the
you.
question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you say you read something in the Examiner, that was a notice of a meeting. Is that true?
Yes, sir. I have
But
it right
you said
here.
that no one was aware of the meeting. You are aware of the meeting, are you not?
Well, I tried to find it on the website, and I didn't find it today, maybe on this afternoon, but they listed in the Examiner for 1 South Van Ness on this coming week, which they've never held that on South Van Ness before. Maybe the crowds are getting too big because a lot of people, but that's where I read the notice now. It's the first time I found out about it.
But I mean, you did find out about it, right?
They're holding a budget town hall meeting, small article at the 1 South Van Ness, about the 1,000 new parking meters.
Right. But I
And-
mean, you did find out about it, correct?
Pardon?
You did find out about the meeting.
That's how I found out about
Yeah,
it.
okay, but
Yeah,
you-
that's how I found out about it.
Okay, thank you.
Because I read it regularly. I'm a regular reader.
You had a question?
So you, just to be clear, you found out about it in the Examiner, and then you went onto their website and could not find that meeting posted anywhere?
Yes, and I could not find it on the website.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Questions? I'd entertain a motion.
I move we find jurisdiction in this matter.
Second.
Any public comment on jurisdiction on this item? Seeing none, would you call the question, please?
On the motion, Member Knebel?
Aye.
Knebel, aye. Member Johnson?
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Member Goldman?
Aye.
Goldman, aye. Mr. Chair, we have 3 ayes.
So, Mr. Lawrence, we're going to forward this item to the full task force for a hearing. What I suggest you do is get specific dates, right? Specific evidence to back up your case. I would not go on about their budget, how many riders they serve a day. None of that is really relevant. What's really relevant to the Sunshine Task Force is specific items that we can work on, okay? If they canceled a meeting improperly, tell us about that. If they didn't post it, tell us about that. But how many riders the muni serves a day, meaningless, okay?
Yeah, okay. I just say this, I leave you at this, is that we're in the age of digital domain, and some of the times when you look at the site, it changes on an hourly basis from where stuff is, so the evidence kind of moves off
Right.
the site or on the site. So
I
I'm going to have to capture some of that
Yeah.
if I can.
Yeah, but I mean, as you said, you were thinking back to a specific meeting where they had switched it. Try to get that date and write it down for us. So when you come
Okay,
when you
all right.
come in front of the full task force, you can say, on this date, they canceled the meeting at the last minute with no notice. See, that's something we can work
All
on.
right, I will do that
Yeah.
because I believe I have documents on 2 dates
Okay.
where that took place.
Excellent. So Mr. Rustum will be contacting you about you'll be notifying him of the hearing?
Mr. Chair, the meeting will be on the 23rd.
So it'll be the 23rd of this month.
23rd of this month, same time?
4 o'clock, room 408.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mr. Chair will be contacting him on or about the 18th.
Yeah, he'll contact you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. Would you call item 3, please?
Item number 3 is determination of jurisdiction on complaint filed by Paula Datesh against the Arts Commission for allegedly failing to notify her of her hearing date and its outcome.
Is the complainant here?
Mr. Chair, the complainant called me this morning. She said she was in New York and would not be able to attend.
Okay, we have, there's a respondent here. Would you please approach and state your case as to why or why not you feel that we have jurisdiction on this item?
Thank you, members. I'm Howard Lazar, the Street Arts Program Director for the Arts Commission, and I'm not going to read you my whole letter. I sent it to you, but I do want to hit some salient points
Sure.
here. We feel that the Sunshine Task Force does not have jurisdiction here because the complaint is actually outside of your jurisdiction, and the complaint is without merit. Contrary to Ms. Datish's assertions, there is no provision in the Sunshine Ordinance which requires a commission to provide any individualized notice to any specific member of the public. We note that the ordinance does not mandate that any individual must receive any special notice beyond that which is already provided to the public, and instead the Sunshine Ordinance requires an agency to provide public notice and agenda item description for the action item at issue, and to do so at least 72 hours in advance of the meeting. The ordinance does not impose distinct or additional notice requirements for any individual member of the public, not even for any individual who is the subject of an agenda item being heard by the Commission. Instead, all members of the public, including any member who is the subject of an agenda item, receive notice in accordance with the same standards set forth in your ordinance. And accordingly, Ms. Datish's complaint that she or her representative were not individually notified separately and in addition to the general public notice and posting of the agenda minutes is outside of the jurisdiction of the Sunshine Task Force. All 3 items of Ms. Datish's complaint lack merit because the Arts Commission actually complied with the applicable requirements of the Sunshine Ordinance. With respect to the November 4th, 2009 meeting cited in Ms. Datish's complaint, the Arts Commission complied with all Sunshine requirements both in advance of the meeting through a properly noticed agenda and after the meeting through publicly posted minutes. Specifically, the Arts Commission properly noticed the committee's agenda by duly posting it more than 72 hours in advance of the meeting, and furthermore, the agenda clearly described Ms. Datish's item. What we said on the agenda was action, hearing, and possible motion to approve or deny issuance of certificate for Paula Datish. In so doing, the Commission offered both adequate prior notice and opportunity for the public to attend and comment on the item. Similarly, the Commission duly posted the minutes of the meeting and thus provided all members of the public with a summary of the outcome of the meeting. And I also sent you evidence of the posting, the agenda and the minutes. We attached that. So, because the Commission complied with the public meeting and agenda requirements of the Sunshine Ordinance with respect to this issue, with respect to Ms. Dadish's request for a street art certificate, all three items of her complaint are without merit. So we reiterate that no provision in the Sunshine Ordinance requires the Commission to provide any supplemental notice to any individual or member of the public. The ordinance does not mandate that any individual must receive any public notice beyond that which is already provided to the public. And because the Sunshine Ordinance does not impose distinct or additional notice requirements for an individual regarding agenda items, we feel that the task force lacks jurisdiction to adjudicate the allegations of Ms. Dadish's complaint. And in summary, the complaint is outside of your jurisdiction. Moreover, the Arts Commission fully complied with the public meeting and agenda requirements, and thus Ms. Dadish's complaint is without merit. And therefore, we respectfully request that you please dismiss this matter.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Members? Questions, comments? Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, motions with task force. Items with the task force for motion.
Without the complaint here, from what I read and what the complaint she made, I tend to agree that we don't have jurisdiction. This is the 3 points of her complaint are about individual notice to her. Now, maybe we might find that that would be helpful or, something nice to do, but I don't think under the task force it's something that we can take up. So I would move that we do not find jurisdiction.
Second.
Would you call a question, please?
On jurisdiction, Member Kaneba.
Not
Motion to find no jurisdiction.
Aye.
Member Kaneba, aye. Member Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Member Goldman.
Aye.
Goldman, aye.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Chair, we have 3 ayes.
Thank you very much.
Would you call the next item, please?
Item number 4 is determination of jurisdiction on complaint filed by Supervisor Chris Daly against Michael Yane and Joe Aliano of the Mayor's Office for allegedly failing to respond at the end of a 10-day extension period.
Is Supervisor Daly here? A representative, please come forward and state your case as to why you feel the task force has jurisdiction over this item.
Good afternoon. My name is April Veneracion. Supervisor Daly is at the board meeting at the moment.
I
so
kind
I'm
of thought that.
Here to just represent the issue of the jurisdiction. A information disclosure request was sent to Mr. Yarney on February 4th, and it's citing the Administrative Code, Section 67.25A. And so our issue is with the failing to respond at the end of a 10-day extension period. And in their response for both extensions on February 5th and then another February 11th, I believe that's in your packet, both cite the same administrative code, section 6725A, which is within your jurisdiction. And at this point, that's the matter before us. So,
Thank you. Is the respondent here? Would you please come forward and tell us your side of the story?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michael Yarney, Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development. I turned to the Mayor's City Attorney for advice on all Sunshine Act matters, and when I received this request, I immediately referred it to Joe Ariano in our press office, who handles that. And we were informed. I was concerned because the breadth of the request was quite extensive. My portfolio, basically, for the mayor's office is to deal with a whole range of issues with all of the agencies that were cited in the original informational request. I have daily phone calls and emails with Mayor's Office of Housing, the Controller's Office, and the Planning Department, all of the staff. and the volume of email that would have required producing was, in our opinion, somewhat extreme and wasteful. And so I asked the city attorney if this was an overbroad request via Joe. I was informed that it was, in her opinion, and then we immediately asked, or very soon thereafter asked, for a narrowed request, and we were happy to comply. And actually, when we did get a narrowed request, we immediately complied and provided the information that the supervisor asked for. And I'm happy to continue to comply as long as I understand the scope of the request. So our concern simply was that it was a very broad, voluminous request, and we wanted to be able to be more responsive. And when that revised request came, we did respond and provided the requested information. So I'm definitely happy to answer questions and be of service to you.
Okay, thank you. Members?
Regardless of the explanation, I mean, that's something for the full task force to take up. I do think that we should find jurisdiction in this matter. I think it squarely falls underneath our jurisdiction, so I would move that we find jurisdiction at the appropriate time.
Second.
Is it irregardless or regardless? That irritates me. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none. I think time has come for a motion.
I move we find jurisdiction.
Second.
Call the question, please.
On the motion, Member Knebel?
Aye.
Knebel, aye. Member Johnson?
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Member Goldman?
Aye.
Goldman, aye. Mr. Chair, we have 3 ayes.
Thank you. So we'll be moving this along to the full task force for a hearing. It'll be on the 23rd. You'll be notified. Thank you, folks.
And that's
for
the
coming in.
proper time to...
Yeah. Alrighty. Would you call item 5, please?
Item 5 is the administrator's report. Mr. Chair, I do not think we will have a meeting next month.
Pardon?
I do not think we will have a complaint committee meeting next month.
No one's complaining about anything?
No.
Maybe I'll complain about something. Okay. What about,
However, it's too soon to say.
how about item 6?
Item 6 is public comment on items not listed on the agenda.
Any members of the public wish to comment on items regarding this committee that are not on the agenda? I see none. Could you call item 7, please?
Item 7 is announcements, comments, questions, and future agenda items from committee members.
Members?
Sharon?
Second.
By a rising vote.
Thank you.
Thank you all for playing.